Hi there, this is Ashley from PotomacBeads.com and PotomacBeads.eu, and today I'm going to be going through the steps and showing you how to make this When Pigs Fly bracelet, which has piggy beads all throughout here, and then these little drop duos around the edge that kind of look like wings. So you see what we did there. So in this example, I used Jade Light AB disc duos, Magic Blue round duos. I used a few transparent Capri Blue 11-0s. You're going to need 2 tubes of piggies for this. So here I used 2 tubes of the piggies in sapphire. And the drop duos that I've used are the white Shimmer. I used a crystal AB button, and I used some Noir lined crystal AB 8-0s that are Miyuki. So that's what I used for the example there. The one that I'm going to go through and do with you, I'm going to be using these white terracotta copper round duos, 1 tube of the DiscDuo in white baby blue, 1 tube of the DropDuo in vintage copper, and once again 2 tubes of piggies you'll need. 2 tubes of the white Lila Luster piggies are what I'm going to need. You will also need, I'm going to use green wildfire in 0.006 millimeter. I'm going to be using tulip needles size 10. And you will also need some little shears or a thread burner, whichever you choose, and pliers to help flatten your thread. Okay, so if you'd like to bead along with me while I create this step by step, you can check out the list of materials with the links below. So if you look below the video where the timestamp is and you click on the little button that says show more, it'll give you links to all the products that I'm using so that you can gather those up and then bead along with me when you're ready. So I'm going to be starting on the button end of my bracelet. You can do either side if you want, but I'm going to start with the button. So the first thing I need to do, I have a wingspan length of the green 0.006 wildfire, and this is a 2 needle project, so I'm going to need to flatten both ends of my thread here. And hopefully they'll behave. There's one. Well, this happens frequently, so if you have trouble with it, you can just trim off a little bit of the end there to make it not so frayed. Pick up your pliers again, give it a little flatten, then it should go in. Cool. Okay, so now I have both ends of my thread have a needle, and like I said, it's a wingspan of thread, so from one fingertip to the other fingertip on the other arm, as if you would have them stretched out to your sides. So I'm going to do the button first, like I said. So first I'm going to pick up one of my 8-0s. I have chosen the silver lined opal 8-0 here. I'm going to drop it all the way down to the middle of my thread. So it looks like that. It's all the way at the middle. And then I'm going to pick up an 11-0 on each side. And here I have the galvanized blush. So I have one on each end, on each needle. And I'm going to drop that down so that I have, there you can see I have my 8-0 in the middle and my 2 11s on each side. Then I'm going to take my 2 needles through the 2 holes of my button. Like that. And I'm going to drop it all the way down. So now you'll see I have the 8/0 in the middle, the 2 11s, and then my button with both sides of the thread coming out. So the button's in the middle of your thread now. Now, I'm going to pick up 3 8/0s with one needle, and then I'm also going to take my other needle through those 3 8/0s as well, so that the 8/0s are on both sides of your string or your thread, and you're going to slide those all the way down to your cup button, and that'll start the beginning of your bracelet. All right. Now, I'm going to move those out of the way because we won't need those again until we do the loop. Okay. So, now we're going to use a RounDuo. When we put the RounDuos and the DiscDuos together on this bracelet, the holes are going to be running horizontally. So they're going to be running side to side, not up and down. Excuse me. So the first thing you're going to do is find one of those holes here. See, they go side to side. So I'm going to put one needle through one way and one needle through the other way. And I'm going to kind of pull both threads to tighten. And that RounDuo is going to come all the way down to where you left off with your 8/0s. Okay. And then I'm going to do it again with the second set of holes. So I'm going to do it with this set of holes as well. I'm going to go through one side with one needle, go through the other side with the other needle, crossing there in the middle in the bead, and then you just pull. Oh my goodness, it's trying to escape. You just pull the thread all the way through so that it's nice and tight or taut against those 8/0s. Okay, now we're ready to add our piggies, the star of the show. Piggies, as you know, if you don't know, they have two sides. They have a convex side and a concave side, kind of like a little bowl. And they have 2 holes, one in the center and then one along the edge. So I'm going to be specific, telling you which hole we're going to go through, either the middle one or the one on the edge, and whether we're going through the convex side or the concave side. We're always going to be going through the convex side, because as you can see here, we want the caved or the concave side to be on the outside so that our beautiful wings fit inside there. So I'm going to pick up a piggy with my one needle from the convex side to the concave side, and I'm going to drop it down, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, not this side but the convex side, through the middle hole. Try not to get it stuck on other things. Okay. There we go. Okay, so there's our piggies. So we have one piggy on each thread now through the middle hole. Now, the next thing you're going to do is go through the hole on the edge of your piggy. And this is kind of really helpful because it's going to help keep the tension of your bracelet. So you need to make sure that you slide that piggy all the way down as close as you can to the RounDuo once you go through that other hole. So I did that with one side. Now I'm going to do it with this side. So I'm going to take my needle then, I'm going to go back through the piggy, through that other hole, pull it all the way, and then make sure there's no space here between my piggy and my RounDuo. Okay, it's already starting to look right. Alright, now the next thing we add is our DiscDuo. So I'm going to grab a DiscDuo, and just like the RounDuos, the holes are going to go horizontally across, not up and down, or not vertical. So once again, I'm going to take both my needles, one through one side, straight through, horizontally, and then one straight through horizontally the other way. And you're going to pull both threads, or one at a time, whichever works for you. There. You're going to pull that nice and tight. So now we have our cut button, our 8/0s, a RounDuo, 2 of our piggies sitting nice there, and our DiscDuo. Again, just like we did with the RounDuo, we're going to go back through and do the same thing through the other set of holes on the other side of the RounDuo. So one needle through one side. Oh, and this is why you check to see if your holes are not clogged. Okay, let's try that again. I replaced my DiscDuo because one of my holes was clogged. So make sure you check those before you start working so you don't have to rip it apart like I just did. Okay, moving on. So once again, I'm doing what I did in the first set of holes to the second set of holes, taking both needles through opposite sides so that they cross in the center of that hole. Oh, shaky today. Okay, there we have. I keep flipping it on you, I'm sorry. I need to keep it going the same direction. So there we have our DiscDuo. So next, we're going to be adding another set of piggies. But this time, instead of going through the middle hole of the rounded side or convex side of the piggy, we're going to be going through the hole that's on the edge. So I'm going to pick up the piggy on one needle and drop it all the way down. And then, like before, I'm going to go through the other hole, but this time the other hole is the middle hole. So I'm going to put that in there like that. Give it a nice little tug so it's nice and close to the DiscDuo. And then you're going to come back out the hole at the edge of the Piggy Duo there. So I'm going to pull that. Okay, so it should be coming out like that on that side when you're done. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Picking up the piggy from the convex side using the edge hole this time, not the middle. Dropping it down. Going through the middle hole from the concave to the convex. Pulling that through. And then coming back out that hole on the edge. Okay, now comes my favorite part. We get to add the wings. So that's why our thread is outside the piggy this time, because we want to add the wings to the outside. So to add your wings, and just like your DiscDuo, you need to make sure that you're checking that both of the holes in your beads are open. So I always pick up with one, take a gander in that bottom one, make sure it is open. So you're going to pick up 5 DropDuos. So there's 3. 5. Okay. So I'm going to take them then from this edge hole, from where I'm coming out at the edge of this piggy, and I'm going to go in. So I went through the, I went through the tip hole, the hole that's closer to the tip on the DropDuo. There are 2 holes on a DropDuo. So I went through all of the holes that are near the tip so that they are going the same direction. Now I'm going to take my needle through this piggy bead in the hole that's closer to the edge so that they are going to sit there like a little wing. Now to finish the wing on this side, I need to take the needle through the middle hole of that piggy. I don't know if you can see that. right through there, and then through the top hole of all the DropDuos. So the hole where it has that bulbous shape on the top. So I'm going to hold this so you can see, and so I can see. So I'm taking my thread through the top hole of all of the DropDuos to make our little wing for the piggy. There we go. To finish it up then, I just went through the middle hole here of that second piggy. So you have like a little bridge or a little wing there on the side with your piggy. So we did it on this side. We're going to do the same thing on the other side using your other needle. So once again, it's coming out that edge hole over here. So I'm ready to pick up my DropDuos. DropDuos, remember, have two holes. So I want to go through the hole closest to the tip and make sure that other hole is open so I don't have to tear my project apart. So I have 3, 4, there's my 5th one. Okay, so drop those down. I turn it to the side here. So all of my 5 little DropDuos are chilling there. Okay, now I'm going to take my thread through the edge hole of the other piggy. There we go. Now they're all chilling. Pick them up. I'm going to go through that middle hole here. And then through the top hole of the DropDuo. And then through the rest of the top holes of the DropDuos. So all 5. Try not to grab my other thread. Something that helps me if you're using a if you're doing a 2-needle project, if you do one side and then kind of stick your needle into the mat a little farther over to the side out of the way, that kind of helps manage the different threads and keeps them from getting tangled. Okay, to finish up that wing, I'm going to take that needle back through the middle hole of the piggy so that it looks like that. All right, so that's one section completed in the When Pigs Fly bracelet. I'm going to show you one more section and then you're going to go on your own and then I'll show you how to finish it up. Okay? All right, so the next thing we need, according to our pattern, because now we're just going to repeat, we're going to need our RounDuo. Our RounDuo and DiscDuos need their holes to be going horizontally. So remember, we're taking the needle through both ways and pulling it tight. There it is. And then I'm going to do it again with the other hole. One needle one way. So you might want to do it one thread at a time, so you don't have to pull them both at the same time, which is fine. Whichever way you want to do it, both or one at a time. And then I'm going to pull that one. Oh, I went through the wrong hole. Let's try that again. I need to go through the top hole. There we go. Okay, so moving along, here we put our RounDuo on, went through the bottom holes, crossed and went through the top holes. Now they're coming out of the top holes of the RounDuo. So the next step in our pattern is to add piggies. Remember, the first piggies you add, you're going through the center hole from the convex side to the concave side, dropping it down. Then you need to go through that other hole in the piggy, the one on the edge. Pull that nice and tight and slide that. I hold the thread and slide the piggy down so that it's close to the RounDuo. That helps to keep your tension so you don't see too much of the thread later. Okay, same thing on the other side. I'm going to pick up my next piggy in the middle hole from the concave or convex to the concave. Whoops. Dropping it down. Going through the other hole on the edge of the piggy. And there we go. Okay. Now we're ready for our next DiscDuo. Checking to see both of those holes are open. So I'm going to take my needle through one side, my other needle through the other side, making sure that the holes are going horizontally, side to side. I'm pulling both of those threads down. Okay. Next we need to add the next pair of piggies. Sorry about that. Make sure my threads aren't tangled up there. Okay. Oh, but before we add our piggies, we have to go through that top hole as well. So I have one needle going one way, one needle going the other way through the second hole at the top. Pull it nice and tight. I kind of push the RounDuos and the DiscDuos down and kind of put the piggies above. Kind of helps me when I go to do the wing, so it's all going in the same direction. So I'm going to pick up my next piggy, and this time instead of picking it up from the center hole, I'm going to pick it up from the hole on the edge, again going from the rounded or convex side to the concave side. And I'm going to go through then that middle hole as well to help us keep that tension. And back through that hole on the edge so that we can get ready to add our DropDuos to make the wings. Okay, so that's that side. Moving on to this side. Picking up my piggy, the edge hole, dropping it down, going through the center hole, pulling it taut or tight, and then coming back out from the convex to the concave side in that edge hole, like I said earlier, so that we're ready to add our wings. Okay, so I'm ready to add my wing on this side. So I'm going to pull out some of my DropDuos here again. I want to make sure that both of the holes are open. I'm going to pick up 5 through the hole closest to the tip of the DropDuo. So here I have 2, 5. Drop those down. Make sure the bracelet is laying the way it should, so that when I go to do these stitches, they're not tangled. Okay, so I'm coming out of that edge hole through the tips of the DropDuos. Now I'm going to go back through the edge, the hole on the edge of the other piggy. Pulling that tight. There's our little wing. Remember to tighten up and finish the wing. I'm going to go through that middle hole, through the outside, or the the hole in the DropDuo closest to the edge, so that bulbous part. I'm going to go through all of those. Tighten that up a little bit. There we go. Make sure my thread doesn't get caught. Okay, last one, and then through that middle hole of the piggy to finish it up. I think I got my, there we go. All right, so we got one more wing. Piggies are gonna fly. All right, let's do the wing on the other side, and then I'm gonna let you continue on your own, and then I'll show you how to finish up. So once again, I'm gonna pick up 5 DropDuos using the top hole closest to the point first. Drop those down, take my needle through the other piggy, through that edge hole, pull that tight, go through the center hole on that second piggy there, make sure that's nice and tight. Then I'm gonna go, that's my dog. Then I'm going to go through the second hole up near the bulbous part of the DropDuo. I'm going to go through all 5 of those to finish up the wing one more time. Okay, so that finishes the second section here. If you're trying to make a 7-inch bracelet, about 9 of these sections will yield a 7-inch bracelet. So I'm going to let you get to that. Just continue with the pattern. Start again with the RounDuo, add your piggies, and move on from there. I'll come back and help you finish. Okay, and I'm back. How did your sections go? I hope they went well. I only did about 5 sections, so we're going to pretend I'm making this for a very tiny person or a child. But I'm going to show you how to finish this off. So I'm done with this section. I finished it off. I'm going to end it with a RounDuo. So the same thing we've been doing the entire time. Cross your needles through the bottom hole, going horizontally. Pulling that RounDuo nice and tight. Crossing through the top set of this top hole, pulling that nice and tight. Okay, now we're ready to bring it back together and make our loop. So I'm going to pick up an 8/0, an 11/0, an 8/0, an 11/0, an 8/0, and 11/0. I'm going to drop those down, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay. And I want to kind of get it to the length that I think will go around my cup button. Probably a couple more. You don't have to alternate them like I did here with the 11s and 8s. You can, if you wanted to use all 8s or if you wanted to use all 11s, go for it. It's your choice. I just thought it would be fun to have alternating to show a little bit of different color in the loop there. Okay. Trying to see if I think that'll be long enough. Might add a couple more just in case to the side. Okay. So now I'm going to take, now that I have beads on both sides, I'm going to take this needle and I'm going to go down through all of these beads on this side. Okay. And same thing over here. I'm going to go down through all the beads that I strung onto this thread. And you can do them a couple at a time. Don't worry about being all fancy and going through them all. And then I can even cross through that RounDuo again. Like that. I'm going to do that with this thread too. Okay. Now, I'm not sure if that's quite big enough. I might need to add a couple more beads. So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 8-ohs and 1, 2, 10, 11-ohs. So I'd probably add 2 more of each on there to fit my cut button. And then the next thing to do is just to tie off our threads. So I'm going to take this needle, I'm going to go underneath one of these inside threads here, through the loop and pull one more time under the thread, through this loop I've made, and pull. Same thing on this side. Find a little inside thread underneath, go through my loop. It's just like sewing when you make knots when you sew. If any of you out there are sewers, which I'm sure some of you are. Okay, so there I have my 2 knots. And then, like we like to do to keep our knots close, I'm going to use a little bit of super glue glue, which I did mention earlier, so you're going to need some of that as well. A little bit of glue on my knots there, and then if you have a thread burner, you can go ahead and burn them off real close, or I'm just going to use my little snips here and cut that off really close. Put my stuff to the side, and so that would be the end of your bracelet, although mine is tiny, I know. So once again, if you need any of these products for this project, take a look down below the video. Make sure you click that show more button, and it has all the links to the products on our website, PotomacBeads.com. If you liked this video, make sure to share it with friends that you think would also find it enjoyable. You can also subscribe to this channel so that you can keep up to date on all of our newest tutorials, which happen several times a week, and the new products that we get. We do spotlights so that you know everything that's cutting edge and new in the beading world. You can also follow us on Facebook. You can join our beading group on Facebook, which is really cool. It's a group of wonderful people that just love to create with beads, and they share their ideas and ask questions, and it's a nice community that we like to create here at Potomac Beads. So once again, thank you for watching. I hope this video finds you well. Have a great day.